help if I brought the mic down, wouldn't it, guys? So we are doing a live alien radio signal hunt tonight. We're searching the hydrogen line. That is the channel on the radio dial where scientists theorize that if ET is out there, this is where they would leave the message, hello. Is anybody else out there? And it's where we've heard anomalous signals in the past, like the WOW signal, but many, many more since then. The skies are alive with potential evidence for extraterrestrials. So it's a cloudy night, and we are going to be listening out for those signals if we are lucky enough to get one. Hopefully, that red line will look like the green line, but we'll see the signals come through right here. So we've got a big dish pointing up to the night sky, and as the Earth rotates, it sweeps across the night sky, hopefully passing over a star with its planets there, one that has a civilization. They'll be sending us a message. How are we doing, A, up there? Oh, literally just now, A, up. Literally, I'm a little bit early, but literally just now. You're first in there, Captain Blue Nose, coming in a strong second. How are you doing, Harco? You're already over on the tubes. Good to see you, and thank you for the gifts there, A-Up. All goes back into the stream. I forgot it was a bank holiday. I say forgot, I didn't even know. Not only that, it's a double, which should be a good thing. But now I've got more work to do. Thank you, Blue Nose, as well, for that. So we haven't updated the Starship yet. I imagine it'll probably be just the same as it was last month, but we'll have to update those ones as well tonight when I remember when we get off here. But we are doing an alien radio signal hunt tonight, searching the hydrogen line for potential alien radio signals there coming in from deep amongst the stars. Lots of attention, I think rightly so, is on the space at the minute there. We are going back to the moon. Thank you, Blue Nose, for the heart. Yeah, going back to the moon, which is phenomenal. About goddamn time there. It makes a change being first there. Hey, I mean, that's good timing. It's good timing. We're going to have to start scoring this in some way. There, Zen is in as well. Good to see you there. And Harko coming in on the TikTok as well. How are you doing? How is everyone? Are we all off work now? Or are you on strange schedules? You have to work the bank holidays. How are we doing? X is in as well. How are you? So, sadly, I thought it was going to be a clear sky tonight, but it is not. So, we're doing an alien radio signal hunt. I think tomorrow's going to be miserable. We're going to hopefully time that with Pete to do some pirate stuff, which was meant to be doing yesterday. But all sorts of downloading issues. I even thought that the streaming computer had died. It would not turn on today, having a right sulk. But it just needed a bop, didn't it? So here we are. I'm glad to hear that one, X. Oh, off till Tuesday. Make the most of it there, A-Up. I'll be working all weekend, but I have myself to blame. We're going to be doing the next episode of The Quest next week, the next pilot. That'll be next Thursday, I think. And I have got so much to do. It's not at all ready for that. So we're going to be getting that one already there. Hopefully, be less bugs. And then the next one after that in 2 weeks, we'll be doing more features as well with it. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one goes there. Nice break now. Are you back from, was it Belfast you was in? And now Artemis 2 is 38,000 miles away. I watched a really cool video, and you know, this is when we talk about the numbers that are involved in space and how, yes, we know numbers, but they don't mean really anything to us there. There's not that emotional connection. And it was, I don't know if it was one of those Christmas science lectures they do, or something like that, at the Royal Institute. And the guy, he had an inflatable ball, which was the Earth, and he was showing you the distance of the moon to the Earth. And he said the distance is 10 times the circumference of the Earth, which I didn't know. There, and he had wrapped a bit of string around the Earth 10 times there, and then he just unravels it, and the person's walking further and further away from the stage across the studio there. And you go, that is how close the moon is. It's not close at all. You cannot really appreciate it. Yeah, it was quite cool to see it being played out there. I'm a visual learner, so that was all good there. And 1,000 likes already there, Harko. Well done. It's probably mostly you. Thank you for the likes, guys. The likes, the shares, the tapping away. It does help us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves, and more eyes and minds on the phenomena the more we can all piece this puzzle together. Rio is in and Robbie is in as well there. Thank you for the likes there. So yeah, we are doing an alien radio signal hunt there, pointing up to the stars, hoping to hear ET say hello. And as the Earth rotates, our dish is going to sweep across the night sky. The night sky there, passing over thousands of stars. We haven't got any particular close ones in range, so I don't know if you guys can see that bottom left of the screen down there. That is the sky maps there. The red circle is where our dish is pointing in its sort of coverage area, so there's not really any close by stars in range today, but there's still thousands and thousands of stars directly in front of that dish. It will mean that any signal that we potentially receive will have to be so high powered now, so much more high powered to travel the distances because they're so far away. But it does not mean that we can't get any signals. In fact, some of our most interesting candidate signals have appeared to come from very, very far away. It is unlikely that ET is going to be sending the signals all of the damn time because they are so energy intensive. To reach those distances there, to have any chance of not being so quiet by the time it reaches us here on Earth, they have to put a lot of energy in, and they think that a civilization is going to be most likely to put in the resources for us to then potentially hear that signal towards the end of their life. There might be a final goodbye, it might be a call for help, or maybe they're saying, right, it's game over for us, but hopefully you guys can pick up where we left off. Here's all of our knowledge there. That is when we are most likely to detect that signal, because there are just plainly better things to be using those resources on. As humans, we have sent that signal once in the early 1970s, and we have not done it since then. So why would aliens be any different there? It's a case of right place, right time there. V, thank you for the heart. How are you doing tonight there? And you got back today there, took 16 hours. Ferries delayed and a long drive from Jesus there. That is a long old journey there. That's a lot of services on the way through there. Harco tuning on the rocket frequency. Actually, you know what? It can't be that powerful, can it? If it's coming from the rocket, it would be quite faint, wouldn't it? They couldn't have high powered. I mean, they've got to have reasonably high powered to get it back. But NASA, their deep space network or their relay network, they use all the big large dishes, don't they? There, and there is it 22.16 there. If the dish was of that range, I would there. How you doing, Mayor? And Spartacus there. Can you see the rocket? So we can't tonight. It's too cloudy for us. But we was just talking about tuning in to the rocket. Now, the dish we have plugged into right now, sadly, is trained for a different frequency range there. It's tuned, I should say, for a different frequency range. All of our equipment is optimized to basically just monitor this bit of the radio spectrum that we're seeing here. It's like the channel on the radio dial there, all the different channels you tune in, radio 1, radio 4, but we're right down the other end there, and we are looking particularly at this frequency range because this is where scientists theorize that if ET is out there, this is where they would put the message, hello, is anybody else out there? And it's where we've heard those anomalous messages in the past, like the WoW signal, but many more since then. They're going to hobble. I had to walk Alan. Have you got his new harness through, Mayor? There, 1.4 to 3. I don't know the maybe I can actually just move it. So should we see if we're getting there, if it goes slightly squiffy? Let's have a play around, Harco, because I know it's optimized for that range. There's at 2216.5. Right, hold on. Where's my cursor? There we go. Right, let's bring up the actual core radio. It's going to mess everything else up, but right. Ooh, right. 2. Ooh. 2. No. 1. So 2216.5. There we go. We are roughly in the area of that one, but we're not seeing anything at the minute. Are we even pointing in the right direction? I suppose we are actually pretty close to the moon sort of area. But yeah, we're not getting anything down there at the second. Right, let's take us back to where we were. Maybe we can do a special Artemis one. I'll have a look and see what our dish is properly rated for there. You have, Matt. Excellent. Have you got the mouth guard for Alan's harness as well? Because he is a biter. How you doing, Marcus, as well? And Danny, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight there? There, we should be in space, if only. I would love to be to have a little bit of a trip up there. And the way technology is advancing, you know, maybe it will be accessible for average Joes like us there. And Marcus, thank you for the gift. Appreciate that. All goes back into the stream there. And the Amethyst, if I've got your name right there, how are you doing there? Can you point your camera to Artemis? So sadly, I can't at the minute. Our camera is not out tonight. It's too cloudy, and we are expecting rain. So I don't know, when is the next clear night due? I mean, it's going to be out there for a few days. We probably wouldn't see anything by the time it gets there, but it'd be fun, wouldn't it? So, oh my God, it is looking miserable again. Let's have a look there. So, not tonight, not Friday, not Saturday. Sunday's looking clear. So maybe we could, but if the moon is up at the right time, you know, so we can point in the direction, the moon is very, very, very bright. So the downside there is that the moon's brightness will probably mean that we just couldn't see anything anyway, but it might be fun to have a little bit of a try, wouldn't it, guys? There. And V coming in with the hashtags. Thank you there, guys. It's the likes, the shares, the hashtags that helps us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves. You never know who is going to come in, share their experiences with the phenomenon, help us all understand the universe, our place within it, and what the hell is going on there. Raf is in. How are you doing? And I do not have an unstable internet connection. TikTok, go to hell. Where are we? There. Also got that for Alan. I think it's needed. And the dish and contact with the ground isn't in the range of the UK, but should by tomorrow. Excellent. Well, there we go. That is the news there. Well, it's going to be cloudy, so we'll be doing a radio signal hunt. Maybe we can try again then. There's a storm coming over the weekend. There is. I thought lovely day today. It's going to be nice and clear, but then the clouds started rolling in, and yeah, on the horizon, it's not looking good. It's going to be miserable for the next couple of days there. Storm Dave, they're running out of names, aren't they? Why do they have to name them all? I mean, it feels like we've had a severe storm every other week there. I think they're just winding us up. It's a storm. There. And was the moon landing fake there, Spike? Because lots of people do think so. I don't lean that way. I am still very much at the camp that the moon landing was real. I do think they probably would have faked it if something had gone wrong. And there are definitely some questions to answer. Like, there are, when the case for the moon landing being faked isn't just crazy. There are interesting questions that do need to be answered there. I think, though, things that really point it in the direction for me of it being real is, so A, we've now got a number of satellites orbiting the moon there from various countries, and a couple of them have basically scanned the landing sites, and on the landing sites is what's left of the base there, the best base of the LEM, the rover, the track marks, things like that there. So I think it could be faked. They could all be in on it together. Uncle Sam giving the Japanese a backhander, maybe. But also, we now know from the images that they've taken of that area there, the topography of the moon, the mountains and stuff, matches what was seen apparently in the background of all the images there as well. So they wouldn't have known that at the time if they were faking it. So I think that does point it strongly in the direction that it could be real, but it's not impossible. There still are some very interesting questions to be answered there. And Maya, thank you there for the gifts. Appreciate those. Always back into the stream there. And Angela, the Artemis launch yesterday. Yeah, I caught that one, luckily. It's pretty cool, isn't it, that we are going back to the moon, even if it is just going around it. Eventually, we have got there, guys. And Mimsy, how are you doing? Good to see you there. Thank you for the gift. Hope you've been well there. And, Crypto Project Gravatar. Am I right in thinking Project Gravatar is the film / virtual reality Bob Lazar Area 51 S4 thing there? If that's what I'm thinking of. So I think it's called, the actual film now is called Area 51. No. S4, a Bob Lazar story, something like that. And what it is Bob Lazar, you probably already know there, major whistleblower there. He's the one responsible for Area 51 becoming popularised and understood to be where all the aliens are. His story has stood up over time. It's very, very interesting. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I think it's next month the film is out at long last there, but I'm really interested in the VR experience there, actually being able to see S4, see the craft there. And I am really looking forward to looking at S4, because it's one thing, isn't it, to describe a craft. Because, hey, it's alien. What do we know that looks like? There'll be certain things there that could point to it being a bit hokey or not, but I think that stood up to the test of time. But I think when you're building underground structures, there are certain things that they do, and if they are not in this images there, this could point to it actually being a little bit fictitious, or it could reinforce the truth there if it all ticks the boxes. So I'm very much looking forward to that one. Maya coming in with the stickers there. Oh, is he not, Angela? That's a shame. He's cloudy over here, so I don't know where he is. It might be cloudy for him there as well. And Brad.
Nom nom nom. Thanks,
Thank you for
guys.
feeding, Alan. How are you doing? There. Paul is in as well. And Blue Nose, what's that? Manifesting. I love that. There's a brilliant meme that's called, and it's, I don't know if you've ever seen the guy. He's a comedian, and he's meant to look like one of those neckbeard, basement-dwelling losers. Like, it's the character he plays. I'm thinking he's playing the character. They've got the weird ponytail and all of that. And he's like, I'm manifesting my reality, and he's sitting there going, and he's got a tinfoil hat on. And it's every time manifesting comes up, that's what I think now. After 50 years, yes, back to the moon, which, I mean, about goddamn time. What did it take? It took the Chinese getting close for them to pull their finger out there. I'm feeling positive about the new NASA leadership there. Jezzard? Who the hell Jezzard? Gerald Isaacman, isn't it? Something like that there. You've just seen the stars, Mayor. Did you hit your head? Because it's cloudy over here. And Mr. Money is back in the house. Are you looking forward to the bank holiday, Mr. Money? There. And they're not landing, not this time. They're going around the back of it, aren't they? They're going to loop-de-loop. But apparently, is it 2028 that they're aiming to go back? I mean, they won't take any longer. Fucking Elon's going to be there, isn't he? Excuse me. And, oh, did you manage to download it? V, I wasn't done till 4 in the morning. I massively underestimated the size of that game and the ability for my internet to do it. I thought, and I downloaded a couple of games recently, half an hour, it's fine. Jesus Christ, 4 in the morning that thing finished. And I did it about 8 at night, so 8 hours? Jesus, there. But we are ready to go now. So hopefully tomorrow, if it's cloudy, we'll be playing that with Pete. There's a little bit of break from the usual schedule. There, Brad is in there, V coming in with the stickers, and oh, what a certain things, pray tell. You know what, I can't even remember what we was talking about there, Mr. Money, sadly. Jezzard Isaacman. Was this to do with the moon landings? There are certain questions. Was it that one that they're still to answer? So, certain things like, is it the Van Allen radiation belt? I think is an interesting one there. Also, you know, the amount of fuel that the Saturn V's could carry to do the distance, that's probably easily worked out with maths. Some of the images as well, there's so many little things I think are interesting there. And Blue Nose, I've been manifesting winning the lottery. It's not happened yet. Well, you've not obviously done it right yet, Blue Nose. Keep it up. And why do they want to have humans go to the Moon X? Well, this is the thing, isn't it? It's the general urge to explore. And in the face of it, you can think there's a lot more of a priorities here that we've got to deal with. You know, what's the point in putting time, effort, resources, money into these things? You know, you can easily make the case that there's plenty of suffering, plenty of division here on Earth. Why are we looking to the stars there? But I do think it is a bit of a false economy that way. You know, if we're never putting, and you don't want to put all your resources into those things, but if we're not putting at least 10 or 20% into the future to what is over the next hill, then that is when we get caught out as a species there. And I was trying to explain this one to a friend of mine recently, that we're now living in the day and age where you can't expect to have a career. Just because you've done it before, you've done it all your life, doesn't mean, sadly, that that's going to be true anymore. The speed of technology, it's just how it is there. So you can take, you know, your leftover time at the end of the working week and the money there that you have left, and you can put it into whatever you want, leisure, you know, if you've got any, that is, you know, your family, all this other stuff. But if you're not apportioning a certain part of your resources to what's next, to learning a new skill, to even a hobby, which then might develop into a skill, because you don't know until you know, then that is when we're going to get caught out there, because the world doesn't sit still, the environment doesn't change there. I mean, God, throughout prehistory, generations of people would have farmed and hunted the same lands, and then, you know, summit changes and those lands are no longer fertile, the weather isn't quite right, the herds have gone and things change. We always have to have a little bit in the bank there for looking over the next horizon, because we don't know what that change is going to be. And at least if you're rolling the dice, then you have a chance at having some answer for it there. And I think the same for the moon there. Directly, what does it benefit us? What does it benefit the problems here? But it also helps psychologically to look ahead, to look a bit further forward, and to kind of at least have some aspirations. So I do think it's important, even if it's not quite obvious there. And Mimsy, thank you for the creepers there. They look cool. They look like a square Alan there. And it's a good question though. Good to me there. Elon will be chasing them. Funny you should say that though, because not Elon in this case, but I heard like a thought experiment a while back, and it was something along the lines of, you don't want to be the first person to be on a spaceship that's going to go to the next solar system, because whenever we get the technology to do that one, it'll be obviously the first draft of that technology. And with the speed and increase and advancement of technology, the craft that leaves 20 years after you is going to be so much more advanced that it's going to get there quicker than you will, and you'll be last to the race over these distances there. Artemis is named after a god. It is, and they do love, whether it is naming the planets there and the stars, all of the Greco-Roman gods and things there, but they are quite heavily influenced in symbology. Look, a lot of the mission patches, a lot of the ritual and routine. We think NASA, scientists, boring pens, slide rules and things like that. But, there is actually a lot that is based in in mythology and religious practice are there. In fact, as well, Mimsy?
Nom nom nom, thanks, guys.
Thank you for feeding Alan. But yeah, in fact, is it Tim Taylor? He's a NASA flight controller there who's well into all this, into the UFO scene as well. And basically, it talks about, we have to sacrifice shit to gods and stuff like that, or the rockets don't go up. It's like, what? What the hell? What's this about? But it's interesting there. Oh, no, underground bases would have certain things there. They would, underground bases. Those ones, that was it, So, this is the thing. When you're digging underground bases, there's obviously a lot of structural issues depending on the material that you're doing through, but there's also a lot of purpose indicated design there. You don't have the luxuries that you do with building without a dead weight on top of you. If we want to add another room here on the side, well, it's open air, we'll just put another wall there. But it's not true when you're digging into the side of a mountain or underground there. So obviously you've got the main concrete and structural areas there. But there are a lot of clues with how you would design a basement, a normal building, versus military underground structures. They are very, very different there, and there are little clues. And the first one for me is, and it's not an exclusive one for this, but this is always an interesting one, is people will use, if they're doing it on film and TV, they're building a bunker, they will either do everything in solid concrete walls, right? Which, depending on the size of the bunker, could be that they do use that mainly for the exterior and sort of central spine walls. But then they do certain petitions, they will do them in the blockwork, which they don't do there. There's no structural advantage to having breeze block internal walls. So they tend to be more stud work, even in the US and stuff like that there. And that is normally a bit of a giveaway because it's a different engineering, and therefore the wrong engineers tend to design the sets and things for that. So that would be something that, the few things they're looking, how they're supporting ceilings, how are they dealing with that weight, if it's a multi-story structure there's all sorts of weird things around it as well. Bases after a certain time as well aren't concrete boxes, they're the bunkers. If there is a solid rock into a mountain, they normally carve out a cave, like an arched cave out of the solid stone there, enforce that, and then they'll build a normal wooden box within that to be all of the rooms, and they'll be on springs and things, which help, if there's a direct nuclear attack there, it helps it, defend against earthquakes, EMP, and things like that. So all depending on what the use of the facility is. And interesting enough, it is rumoured that S4 was originally a biological research laboratory there. So again, we can look to its purpose and therefore deduce what those design elements would have been. Bearing in mind, I am a believer of Bob Lazar at the minute, so I am expecting it to be all above board and things like that. Steampunk John as well, thank you for the heart there, and Blue Nose and V, feeding Alan.
Nom nom nom, thanks,
there
guys.
as well. And Phrase, how are you doing there? Thank you for the gifts as well, guys. It all goes back into the stream, but how is everyone doing? Let me scroll up. It's jumped ahead of me. Let's have a look. Good evening, Rachel. How are you doing there? And V, it's to find the aliens on the dark side of the moon. That's what they're doing. They're gonna go around the back, just take some images there. Gonna catch Alan sunbathing. And I don't have the energy to type. Oh, we'll watch Alan knitting there. Is Alan taking up knitting? I mean, I was getting worried with all the needles lying around. And, me and my mum watched it live. The rocket launch was amazing. It was, wasn't it? Honestly, like, my uncle used to always go to Florida when I was a kid, and he's seen so many of the shuttle launches there. And I was like, that's amazing. It blew my mind to the point where they just didn't even bother going anymore. They'd been to so many. And I'm like, how would you ever get bored of that? And then, you know, it all kind of died off. God, what that'd be like to see that, one of those launches live and close by there, Ben.
Nom nom nom, thanks, guys.
Thank you for that, for feeding Alan there. Oh, you missed it, Riho. I mean, rockets, bang, up. But it is cool to see it there. Show yourself, Alan, there. V's after you, Alan. And, someone was holding their golden retriever puppy at the launch. So, I hope it wasn't too noisy for him there. And, yeah, been ages. Hope you've been well, though, Phrase. What you been up to? Good to see you there. And, loving the stickers, Mayor, there. And he don't like cake. Everybody likes cake, including Alan. There he is. He's coming out. It took him a while, but he got there. Just popping in to say hello, but a bit busy. No worry, Ben, but good to see you there. I hope it's good busy as well. And I have no idea what was said. I'm snug as a bug. There, that's all you need. There. Mr. Money believes Bob too there, or at least he believes. See, this is exactly it, isn't it there? Even with the best will in the world, there is always interpretation or the potential for interpretation issue. You know, we as humans are only good as the knowledge we have and our intelligence and our education, all these things combined there. And I believe Bob is reasonably sensible. I don't think he's lying there. But he himself does say, he said, look, they could have put things in that were purposely fake, you know, and we know that they do this when they give classified information out. Sometimes they'll change certain specifics so they know if it gets leaked, then they go, oh, we told Jeff here, we told Jeff that it was a Zeta Reticulans. So if that comes out, they'll know it's Jeff that's leaked it, passage material. And Bob was said this, I think one of the things that he believes, and he didn't say it at first because he didn't want people to get carried away with it, but he believed he'd walked past a room and at a glance he thought he saw like a grey in there being interviewed. And he was like, that could be a puppet, it could have been faked, it could have been there just for me to see it, or it could have been real. He said he's got no idea. So there's still a lot of range of interpretation around these things, isn't there? And some veterans were there watching it take off. Oh, I bet that's pretty cool for them as well. There, you can puppy nap him, mate. You're gonna get on a list. But I understand the temptation there. Oh, go for a second. Rubbing it in there, Mayor. Where are we? Over on the tubes there. Am I late in reading that they have found a second Sphinx there? It feels like there's a lot of stuff coming out of places at the moment. Or is it just you? No, Raph, you're right. That was one of the announcements. So it's still that the one team thinks that they found a second Sphinx. So it hasn't been confirmed yet. But you are very much right. There is a lot coming out now. You know, and I think they just can't keep the secrets that they used to. More people are able to do more things, so there's more discoveries in that sense, more communication channels at play. So I think you were right there. The second Sphinx, it's an interesting one, and I don't know how I feel about it, which way I'm going to lean with that one, because the people that I follow, who I delegate, you know, the hard work of actually researching this shit to, and I go, you know, okay, I believe them, that sounds like a good argument, you know, who I'd lean to. They're split with this. Some people are saying, no, look, there really is something interesting there, and the other half of people are saying that the big sand pile where they reckon this Sphinx is hiding under was put there in like the 20s or 30s when they cleared a certain area for a cemetery. And then they've got aerial photos of the before and after, which looks pretty convincing. But you never know. Maybe it's below that. They've not specified. So I don't know. You know, it's conflicted there. But hopefully we will, if they can pull their finger out on the other end of it, we'll start to get some answers for all this. I mean, we're coming up. Is this weekend, isn't it? Is the Chris Bledsoe prediction there that they're going to find or open the Hall of Records under the Sphinx there. X there, what the sky's like tonight there? Sadly very cloudy and about to be stormy as well. So that is why we are doing the live alien radio signal hunt tonight, guys. And what are they hoping to see on the dark side of the moon? So I think it's there was, what was it that I did watch an interview a good few months ago with the chap who was leading the mission, and they did have some answers of why it was important, what data they were getting, what they were looking at. Can't remember for the life of me what it was, but I think mostly it's just to test that they can send the craft at least that far. This is step one, and then there'll be the step two, step three. You know, it's the building up there, making sure their current rockets can do the job. They'll do a bit of science whilst they're there as well there. And why does it look grey today, or is that your screen? Good question. Well, I'm a little bit grey. I'm not as orange today. I haven't put my fake tan on there, but I don't know if the rest of it. Are we still seeing the green? Where are we? There. And no, I've done that one. I might be screen. It might be. I have been playing with the camera. I was having issues with it earlier there. And if I go quiet, I'm in the middle of drying my hair or planning your next puppy napping there, Rachel. I'm suspicious. I think you've got the drawing board out there and like the toys plotting, right, if the puppy's over here and I'm going to come in and nab him around there. And there, boots on the ground we need under the Sphinx. Exactly. And I can start to appreciate the American attitude here. Boots on the ground. We do. We need to do it. And if they don't do it, I'll just bloody do it. Can you imagine how long would I last under the desert sun? I'm sorry, guys. I lasted 5 minutes. There. You're in the mood for a sandwich there, Raf. Well, unless I read Matt Raff's last message wrong, actually, because he messaged me. Raf was one of the winners of our competition. But Raf has very generously, and I'll confirm with him when he gets back, so you can confirm this now, Raf, before we do it there, that you were up for re-spinning the wheel and giving somebody else a chance with your prize there of the SDR radio. So once Raf's confirmed that one, maybe we'll spin the wheel and see if there is a lucky new winner for that one. Extra chances there. Oh, you need a 34-meter dish there, but you can detect the carrot. Can you detect the carrot? Well, Harco, we've definitely got to try that one. That's pretty cool. I am working on a bigger dish. It's a slow one, though, but we'll hopefully at some point solve that out there. Get our crew together and the shovels out there. Let us in. No worries, V. We'll catch you in a minute. You're getting your passport ready to go go boots on the ground in Egypt. Actually, I better not put that there, because I will kick that over. Dropping everything today. So, guys, if you are just joining us, we are doing a live alien radio signal hunt tonight there. So, as the Earth rotates, our dish is going to sweep across the night sky, passing over various stars. And there are planets, hopefully one that's got a civilization, it's got life and a civilization, and is going to be sending us a message. It's a bit of a right place at a right time sort of deal, but these messages do happen, and they are getting more and more. You know what? God, I'm getting hot in here. What is going on? Sorry. Yeah, and they're getting more and more common as the years go on there and as our equipment gets more sensitive. So hopefully we will get lucky at some point. So V is back in the house. So yeah. Was you just quickly popping off? It's suspicious that Raf goes, I need a sandwich, and then V's like, be right back. You know. Blue Nose there, thank you for the gifts there. Okay, sadly, the frequency is encrypted, so you can only see the carrot. Well, that'd still be cool enough. And can you imagine? It's, oh, the green screen's fallen down again, guys. Yeah. I wonder if they can decode it there. Oh, I'll have to check that one, V. I haven't checked my messages. Thank you there, V. Let's have a look. God. I've got a few projects at work that I'm trying to get over the line, and I'm working back to back at the second. When it wants to load. Ah. All good there. Thank you for the heads up, V. Let me get back to where we are. I'm so far behind with everything there. Right. No, I'm not trying to post that. I'm trying to get back to the stream. Where are we there? Blue Nose, thank you for the roses. Very kind. How are you? Right, there we go. We are back to it. There we go. Back in the zone. So, yeah, these signals are quite rare, but they are getting less rare as our equipment gets more sensitive. And, hey! I do like the cowboy one there. Thank you, V. And M to the C, how are you doing? Hat for a hat. Boom! Yeah, as our equipment gets more sensitive. But there is a hell of a lot of these signals. In fact, as I said, we have potentially received signals from our closest stellar neighbour there. Ah, thank you for the heart there, Blue Nose. Closest stellar neighbour there, Proxima Centauri, which is, I think, pretty awesome. You know, the idea that our closest stellar neighbour there may well have life that is not just either at our level of technological advancement, but it's an older system, so it could be a bit more advanced as well. What would that mean for us? I mean, we could really have, you know, proper communication with those guys there. It's only 4.6 light years away, so you have to wait 4.6 years for a reply each time, but you know, it's possible. It's doable. Travel there is possible. They are putting together some proposals for projects to send our first probes over to that system, which I think would be pretty cool to see in our... I mean, it'll take a little bit longer there, because then these probes are not going to be travelling at the speed of light. But yeah, for us to at least do some interstellar exploration would be pretty cool there. Matt, you can see the moon from your garden. I can't. I can just see cloud, sadly, there. And V and M to the C, loving the stickers. Thank you for those. But yeah, so there are lots and lots of potential signals coming from very close by stars. They do want to put a dish on the back side of the moon there, and what that'll do is it'd be much bigger, you know, not really fighting for space on the moon at this stage, but also because it's facing away from the Earth there and the moon is in the way, we wouldn't have to worry about radio interference there. So any signals they do get that look technological wouldn't be human ones. So that could be, I think, a pretty cool advancement. That is half the issues now, is that it's filtering out the human stuff. So science, if it can't figure out the source, if it can't 100% say where it's coming from, then they tend to default to that one. It's probably technological interference, which isn't very scientific, but that is their bias, the way they lean. If it's on the dark side of the moon, though, we've got this big dish, we don't have that issue. All of a sudden, we could find that the skies are alive with potential signals there. And Exa, have we ever caught any strange signals? We've had some strange activity, but nothing that's been a clear signal. So sadly, they are quite rare. But it is a bit like winning the lottery. And the more we do it, the more our statistical odds increase of detection. So it is kind of worth doing. But it's like, you know, if you've seen the film Contact there, or the Apple TV series Pluribus, you know, waiting around, bored in the old control room there. Then all of a sudden, you hear the message, you drop your pizza on the floor, and you ring everybody up, and nobody believes you. It's kind of like that. Nobody's... It's a real waiting game, but when you do get it, it is a full-on eureka. We'll all be on the news for that one there. Referring to the puppy napping, we have our hands full with Rolo, who is also still a pup. Oh, I love it when you get older dogs as well that don't realise they're older dogs, and they still think they're puppies. It's absolutely adorable though. Playing with his Alan earlier. That's probably the sort of what an Alan needs to keep him at bay there. A little bit of being chewed. V, do the astronauts have to wear nappies? Because they will need the loo there, surely at some point. This is that capsule ain't very big. I don't think a nappy would last 10 days. Can you imagine the size of it there to get rash? So they must have like a really embarrassing little toilet there, like a bucket in the back of the space capsule. Just don't mind me, guys. The Russians haven't agreed, but you can't even... Oh, the smell. You can't exactly open the window in there, can you? I mean, that's the not so glamorous side of space travel that they don't tell you about. Keeps him distracted from taking my... You happen to get a sacrificial Alan there. Did you post a picture of the... I didn't see that one. I knew you guys were talking about it, but I didn't see the picture. I'll have to have a look for that. It's, yeah, I don't think I'd want to be in that sort of confined space there. They have a vacuum loo. Still, though, that's not for me. Imagine that, you know, just landing on the window of the International Space Station. Just, oh no, bloody astronauts again. There. There's also a demonstration of it on YouTube. Excellent. They don't they don't sit there for the demonstration and go, this is how we use it, guys. That wouldn't be very appropriate there. And it's apparently they used to have wear a nappy, but this craft does have a loo. Wow. That is advancement. I know when they do the EVAs, they get the big suits on and then they go out of it. They're in there for a very long time, and they have to use the nappies for that situation there. And they were listening to an astronaut from the ISS talking about doing the training for that, and he goes, you learn very, very quickly. Like, you can use it for solids, he says, but you learn it's just not worth it. It is just not worth it. You may be out there 9 or 10 hours, but you figure out how to hold it because of the mess. I was like, that is lovely. There. Back to chill if the rain lets me. Excellent. Yeah, well, the rain is coming there. And how far is Artemis from Earth now? Was it about 38,000 miles, like I mentioned earlier? So, well done, United. And they have had to evacuate the ISS. An astronaut lost his speech. So, that was why, quite recently, wasn't it, that they didn't say why, because health issues private there. But, yeah, it was serious enough for them to end the mission early, which is interesting. Which is something that happened to me once. Very, very interesting. As I don't know if it's the same issue at all there, but where I had this neurological issue. It's not really anywhere near as bad as it used to be. But I had once what appeared to be a stroke. Because I lost all speech and my face just went sloppy on one side. And I don't know, I was actually pretty the most relaxed I'd been the whole time. Leanne was panicking like high hell because I couldn't move. I was just slumped there with my face going like that. Turns out it wasn't, thank God, there as well. But horrendous time in the hospital, trying to be dealt with for that one. And it turned out all I needed was to have a blanket chucked over my head. Yeah, that was it. Nothing serious at all. It was some sort of weird neurological miswiring, and all I needed was to have a blanket, so I was low sensory input, and it restarted everything. I was like, all right, fine. But it's weird when that happens. Where are we? They don't have toilet. Don't use toilet paper. What the? How does that work then? That's grim. I think they have a medical clear out, and space food is a pouch format there. Yeah. Just put the tube straight in like the Matrix there. Most of the stream was CGI. You guys were talking about that in the chat game. It doesn't look real. I mean, it is hard to get images back from space. So I as soon as it was up there, I tuned out. I just wanted to see it launch. So, you're thinking, would they be as bold at this day and age? Because it's quite easy to actually check now all the AI algorithms that can search for patterns there that are left when things are artificial. Would they be as stupid? Maybe. There. They have a kitchen and board. That's bigger than I thought. How big is the? Oh, actually, I think I've seen the image you're putting in there of the craft part of it. I always think it's just the nose cone bit, but that's just the re-entry vehicle section, isn't it? There. No pizza or McDonald's. What will the Americans do there? Yeah, I think it got fried too, and it got me thinking of them. Yeah. I mean, making notes in 6bay. Yeah, if Sam's face goes sideways again, then just chuck a blanket over his head. There. Since the aliens can't talk. Oh, yeah, I hadn't made the connection there. I'll head to bed now, Matt. Well, rest up. Well, hopefully catch you later on. We're playing Pirate Game tomorrow, probably. But hopefully, as soon as the weather clears, we'll be doing another Skywatch there. And Mr. Fanuc there got a quick photo of a line of triangular UFOs going over my house a couple of weeks ago. Or tag us in it if you've got it. Or better yet, because that sounds like a phenomenal sign. I've never seen that. Well, there's one case that might be a triangular UFO, but it's still up in the air. Mark, I don't know if this is going to work tonight. Is that going to work? Yeah, there we go. We've got a Discord there. We've got a personal experiences section, which is full of your guys' first-hand accounts with the phenomena, images and videos too, so you could add it to that, and that way it won't disappear after the stream, and the rest of our community could see it, because we would love to see that. They're United Uber the McDonald's. I am never Ubering McDonald's again. I had an argument with them last week about that. I don't often do it, but I was treating my parents there. They just moved in couldn't cook anything. I said, I'll get some McDonald's, don't you worry. They're like that. They screwed the order up. I complained. They said, we'll refund you £1.07. I said, £1.07, you've missed out a whole meal, that's like 15 quid. And they went, we've closed your case because we've already refunded you. And I'm like, you fucking what? So I marched physically down to the McDonald's. I said, I'm not having that. And the poor McDonald's manager's like, it's on Uber. I said, well, it's not my problem. It's not my problem. But we sorted it eventually there. Never again to them there. And Klaus, how are you doing? Thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight there? Yeah. Did they? Yeah. And it's like a manual reset. It was a bit. And we'll send it now there. It was a diagonal line. They didn't make a sound. Very, very cool. I like the sound of... Whereabouts in the world was it there? I didn't get his... Well, actually, it was my mum. Poor thing did not get her burger. They just had the fries. Well, we wasn't going to let that stand. I don't mind people making mistakes, but when bureaucracy or people's inability to resolve problems because it's not on the button, then I get into full complaints mode. And it's a hill I will die on. Also ridiculous. Yeah, everything is just awful. I know everybody says this, but it is at the minute, price-wise. And was in Salford there, of all places there. Where can I send it? So if you go to our main TikTok page, the top of it is a link tree there. I think you have to click on our name or something. I can't remember how to do it now. But yeah, at the top of our main TikTok profile, there's a link tree, and there's one for Discord, which is like a little community messaging app, like an old school forum sort of thing. And in there, there's a personal experiences section, and you can just post it in there, and that way the whole community will see it, because they'll definitely want to see that one. How you doing, Private Tomcat? I'm a Karen when they make mistakes. Nobody gets away with a mistake. I know. Poor manager. But if you're going to use a service, this thing, if you don't push back, then there's no cause and effect, you know. And sadly, you know, like if there isn't like a proper channel for doing it, then your only option as the consumer is to put it onto the front line, and then the front line have to put it on their management, the management have to put it on the people up, and then eventually something happens. So, you know, if you're old enough, Henry Root Wetfish, if you get that reference there. Animatronics yesterday, bloody brilliant. They're doing this cards thing at the minute where they're giving away like collectible cards, and it appeals to the gambler in me, so I'm very tempted. No, I'm not going to do it. They're just bloody bits of cardboard, but you could get a valuable one. Stop it. There. How did the down? Oh, Ben, 4 a.m. that thing finished. 4 a.m, and then I restarted my computer because it was having a bit of a sulk. Wouldn't turn on again today. Obviously, we fixed it all now, but that game. So hopefully it'll be worth it tomorrow. When it launched, they didn't show you inside. No, not during the launch. It was the external shots, wasn't it, out there? So the difficulty is in high data connections when you're going that far up there. Technology is better now, but when it's that far up, it is very, very difficult. The only way SpaceX can do it is because they also conveniently have all of the satellites that are beaming down the internet, so they can they have better connections now. But it is difficult. Don't mess with Sam's Burgers. Anything petty, V, 100%. I'm debating, speaking of pettiness, there's an older gentleman at the self-checkouts at my local Morrison's. And everybody here in this town is amazingly friendly. All of the staff everywhere, never really have any problems. So when he first started making comments, I was like, oh, he's just funny, but he's not funny. You know, you think, you know, he's just trying to have a laugh, but there's a bit of a misconnect, so I ignored it. But every time something goes wrong with the self-checkout, he's got the we should have done this, or, you know, the Mr. Obvious with things. And I go, I think it's just his humour. And then it happened again the other day. And I'm going, no, he's just a prick. And I'm going, right, next time, I'm writing to his fucking manager. I ain't having that. I'm trying to pick what level is responsible. What is a proportionate response? Because, you know, look, I don't need to go nuclear. He's just a bit sarky. But also, can't have a fight with him in the self-checkouts, can I? It's not quite right. He's an older guy as well. But where do I can't let it go. Bitter, I think is the word. 20 nuggets and a cheeseburger is my go-to. There is something about a McDonald's every now and again there. I was going to try the spicy nuggets the other day, but they messed that up and got the normal ones. I never tried those. Email is being drafted. That's the threat level, threat status. You know, it's not DEFCON 1, DEFCON 2, DEFCON 3. It's, behaviour noted, email being drafted, customer support contacted, and then official complaints procedure enacted. You know, that's it. That's full nuclear. That's how we go. I never used to like spicy stuff. It doesn't necessarily agree with me, but I'm starting to get a little thing for it there. To whom this is... Yeah, you got to crack the knuckles first, Marcus. That's to whom it may concern there. Shall we play at War Games? We're with the Morrison's customer services team there, and Jason there. Why does your live keep cutting? Is it the aliens again? Oh, I don't know why it's cutting. It's the signals are okay on this end, so it could just be YouTube being crap. So I don't know, guys on the tubes, are you having the same issue as well there? If not, we'll blame it's the aliens. And there, Carl Sagan once said, the universe is a pretty big place there. If it's just us, it seems like an awful waste of space. 100%. I totally agree with that. And I think it's Sagan he was very open to aliens. And then he was very publicly, dismissive of the alien phenomena. But he would still produce films and TV and all this sort of stuff, shows and books, all about aliens. It's kind of like he was told to keep quiet. Few people think that. He's an interesting one. Always right. And Marcus there, thank you for the gifts there. We have too many death codes going around these days. Well, understandable with the state of customer services there. Complaints mode activated. That's going to be a button there. The FIB's got him. I go full Alan. That's not the probing. There. Suspicious is. So, where are we? No, we are up to date there, and we are up to date there. Well done. So yeah, we are doing an live alien radio signal hunt tonight, searching the hydrogen line, the channel on the radio dial where scientists theorize we are most likely to hear a message from ET, should they be out there, should they be sending messages. And we've heard a number of anomalous things on this frequency in the past there, most notably the WOW signal. I'll see you in a bit, Rachel. Most notably the WOW signal back in the 70s, but many, many more since then. When people say, where is all the evidence? There is a hell of a lot of evidence, not just in radio, but optically as well. We have noticed a vast number of stars doing some very strange things indeed, but there's many other ways as well, gravitationally, that we can check this, and we're only ever slightly starting to look at the quantum world. There are plenty of strange things going on up there in space. Now, we can't definitely say that they are alien, but we also can't tell you what the hell they are. And then, at the end of the day, you are left with a very interesting, 5%, maybe even 2%, but still, very, very interesting. Yeah, V, exactly. There is loads of evidence. What people mean when they go, where's the evidence, is they mean, well, why don't we not culturally accept it all at the minute? And that is a very different question, and it isn't the same as where is the evidence. But I find myself falling into that trap every now and again when a bit of news comes up and I go, I don't fully believe it. And if you go, why don't I fully believe it? And then, well, fully, but I don't have to, fully sign it. But why am I skeptical? Why am I leaning towards the negative? And a lot of the time when I search into my own beliefs, I go, well, I just think that somebody else would have seen it. We would have known about it by now. Somebody else would have come across this. But that is definitely not the case there. It's because we don't trust the media. Well, that's another big part of it, isn't it? And hello, Kate. How are you doing today? Are you looking forward to the bank holiday there, having extra feral time? Keeping you busy, are there? But yeah, there's lots of things. I don't know. I do find myself falling back, I think, a little bit too much on those unconscious biases there. But that's why I've got you to keep me in check there. Been sat watching the stream in your view page and forgot to actually go on it. We'll forgive you, but Alan might not, okay? Whoop, simulator there. Well, we're going to see how this pirate game goes tomorrow there. I have no idea how it's going to be. I'm going to try and commit a mutiny on Pete's ship. I hope that's something I can do in the game. It will allow me. For those guys that have played Sea of Thieves before, is this one of the sort of games that you can spend money to be better? Because I'll be very tempted to just rock up the first time it loads in and have all of the kit and a bigger ship than Pete. There. Ah, okay, yeah. Sometimes it doesn't like link stuff, kind of, but not already. Oh, is it sort of one where you can buy skins and things, but they don't really help you at all? Is it that sort of one? When people say, where is the official evidence? I tell them to tell the government to make it public. Well, that's the other part of it. People, there is potentially an active component of hiding this. When we know there has been quite a strong element of self-censorship with this as well. How many people have we heard of, well, I didn't tell anybody this because I don't want people to laugh at me. Even we talk about the government there, this is that self-censorship, professional censorship there. Well, you won't keep your job if they think you're crazy and seeing flying saucers, So, half of it, the men in black just put their feet up. They didn't have to do a lot of work there. Pirate Pete is really good at Sea of Thieves. I'd hope so. He spends a lot of time on it. But I heard him, was he complaining about letting a guy on the stream yesterday? He's like, if I let you on my crew, you can't just go off and do whatever it is again then. You've got to promise not to. And I'm thinking in my head, going, Pete, you've played games with me before. You know that's exactly what I'm going to do when I get on the bloody game. There. And Harley, how are you doing? Thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight there? Actually, you can buy clothes and boats, I think. Boats sound good. I need to have a bigger boat, obviously. We can't be having a peasant boat, can we? We've got to be bigger than Pete's. And, let's... there we go. TikTok wants me to complete a little puzzle again. There. And do you think there is actually aliens out there? So, this is a good question there. And Northwest England, love that as well. So, West, okay, there's a few up your way, actually. A few of you guys up your way. Welcome aboard. Good question. Do we think there's aliens out there? So, I think there is many versions of this answer. So, first of all, alien life out there, full stop, 100%. There is, just with the size of the universe, and even mainstream science now believes, just because now we know that there are planets around other stars, that just statistically there's got to be a hell of a lot of life. They won't say that it's going to be complex life, they won't say that it's going to even be intelligent or civilizations, but they do think there's going to be an abundance of life out there. And just the other day, basically, it came out that I think it's astrobiologists there, that they've got so many detections of potential biosignatures, which is like certain gases in the atmospheres of these distant planets there, that as far as we know can only be made by life. They've got so many of these detections that they're just like, yeah, life is absolutely everywhere. Now, is it intelligent life? I'm still pretty high. I think statistically, if we're here, then it's proof that it can happen. We're not the first people around. We're quite midway through the lifetime of the universe. We are where we'd expect to be. We're about in the middle. So there's been plenty of time for other civilizations to exist there and to develop and stuff. So I think if there's one, there's going to be many, many more. Unless you can present the case that we're special here on Earth, then I think, that life is going to be pretty much abundant. Now, is it visiting us? I think there's a hell of a lot of evidence for it there. So, I'm not quite 100 on that one, but I'm in the strong 90s for that. There, and then it kind of ever decreasingly the more specific we get there. Laura Lass is in. How you doing? Thank you for the heart there. And he has rules, and he's played games with me for years. He knows I do not follow the rules. The Black Pearl. Can we buy the Black Pearl? Can we get the biggest ship in the game? That's what we need to do. Check out the Enigma app there. Plenty of new and historical sightings from the northwest. That's a good point there. Good tip there, Kate. The Enigma app is very, very good for this. So, Kate, I did actually search when you put the date in of our big orange sighting, and I couldn't see anybody else locally. I know people messaged me about it when we posted it, so there was people seeing signs, but I couldn't see one on the Enigma app for that. It just made me think of it there. And V coming in with the Freed Allens there. And Thomas, have you seen the rocket today to the moon? Yeah, we watched it launch last night. It was pretty cool, wasn't it? And it's so good that we are going back there. Did you catch that there? And the avatars that are made from the astronauts' DNA on board the Orion is fascinating. Wait a minute, what's that? Is this a film plot? Hey up, what's that going on there? And we know it can happen, and as someone in Interstellar said, if it can happen, it will happen. But that is exactly, why would we think, if we look to Earth, like, there is life, there are so many different species, different organisms, something for every niche, every environment there. Why would we think that the rest of space is any different? Now we are starting to look, because we haven't really looked a lot at all for life there, or specifically for sensing there, but now we are looking even within our solar system. It looks like Mars has microbial life at the very least on it there. Venus as well is got life detections in the clouds of Venus there, potential microbes living in the cloud. So if that's 3 planets in a row, and then you're looking out there, all these other biosignatures around other stars, there's just got to be absolutely so much life. And I heard a really interesting one, and it's from a proper NASA site. He's not with NASA anymore, but he's a very he's a rocket scientist there. He's on all the missions that send probes to here, there and everywhere. They're working on a mission to Venus at the minute. It does all the big telescopes and stuff there, but he raised the point. It's very interesting. Scientists normally don't speculate or don't even dangle little nuggets like this, and I hadn't heard this one before, but he was saying when you analyze the very few images we have of the surface of Venus, which, guys, is a hellhole. It's so hot, it's immense pressures there, things don't last very long on the surface. He did say some of the rocks appear to have moved in the images there, and they could potentially be interpreted as some sort of crustacean there. And you're thinking that would be complex life. That is very interesting. Something that is built to survive those pressures there. I mean, again, Venus, we do believe, was habitable, was a twin of Earth there, but obviously it just went a bit sideways for it there. But there would have been time, like with Mars, for life to adapt. Not all life there, but to adapt so it didn't get fully wiped out. But hey, crustacean sort of life on Venus, that'd be interesting there. And how you doing, Lawrence there? Are we not able to report lives or repost lives anymore? You know what, I don't know. I know some people have issues with it every now and again. I have no idea in general, though, but thank you for trying. Sometimes just TikTok having a bit of a sulk there. The astronauts might see aliens. Well, in the past, there have been strange things witnessed by astronauts, so you'd hope, wouldn't you, if they did see something that we could know there. And do you think the government will ever release any information about it? I think they will, but as little as they can. And I think what's happening now is that now we are all so connected, like we're all here today, we're all sharing our stories, all doing a live bit of science here. We're listening out right now live for those potential alien radio signals. We're so connected. Therefore, it's harder to keep the lid on this sort of thing. So because of that, they are having to release a little bit of information, playing catch up, but they don't want to release too much. So I think as we get more connected, as more and more people have and share these experiences, they'll just be able to keep that secret less and less and less, and they'll kind of trickle it out there until it's probably widely accepted there. And Assassin's Creed Black Flag there, best pirate game ever. Never played that one, Raf. But Raf, now you're back from your sandwich. Was I correct in saying that you don't mind your prize being re-spun on the wheel there to see if somebody else in the community can win it? If that's true, we will re-spin the wheel. I want to give you another chance, just in case you did want it. There. My tooth fell out. Can the alien zap up a new one for me just before I get married? Oh my God, teeth, Jason. Don't get me started on the horrors of teeth. I hope they can. I have heard some interesting technology about them now being able to regrow certain teeth. Probably still 20 years away from us being able to have that on the street there, but it would be a nice thought there. Get some of those missing teeth back there. And Ken, your message is redacted. That's why I can't read that one, sadly. Try posting it again. Maybe we can see it that time there. And I just come back, there's like 40 people in there. That's a good point, actually. How did that happen? I didn't check. Guys, if you are just joining us, we are doing a live alien radio signal hunt tonight. We are searching the hydrogen line. That is the channel on the radio dial where scientists theorize that ET, if they're out there, is the most likely place for them to leave the message, hello, is anybody else out there? And it is where, over the years, we have detected a number of very strange signals. Indeed, there. So, hopefully, as the Earth rotates, our dish will be sweeping across the night sky and potentially passing over a star of a planet that is inhabited and will be sending us a signal. Yeah, so fingers are crossed. We might get lucky tonight. If we do get a signal on the screen, it'll only be on screen for between 30 and 90 seconds there. That is with the Earth's rotational speed there, how long that dish is going to be pointing over a target for that long. But do say hello, guys, and give us a follow, because we do something like this every night. If it's cloudy, we do this, the alien radio signal hunt. And if it is a clear sky, we do a UFO, UAP, a skywatch there. And maybe aliens have found us and decided to steer clear. Well, maybe they have, and maybe they're observing us. Maybe we're their little zoo. Maybe they're keeping an eye on us because we're an inferior race in the same way that we have nature reserves there. Or maybe they're harvesting us. You know, maybe that's why they're quiet. I don't know. But I've definitely heard a few stories of nefarious understandings. But also, there are just going to be multiple types of aliens out there. You know, and if there's one, there's going to be loads. And I would imagine there are going to be all different types there. Oh, it's part of their experiment on board. Oh, what? I haven't heard about that one, Up? That sounds like a very fancy experiment. I thought you were describing the plot of a sci-fi film. Very interesting there. You jinxed it there, Rex. The Avatar experiment. I was going to say it sounded like something from Avatar there. Artemis, it will study the effects of spaceflight on astronauts' cells. It's interesting there. Very interesting. I hadn't heard of that one there. Venus is a bit of a hellhole. Earth is only in the right place for life because that's what we have evolved to or been placed in. So, very good point there. That it's like they say, well, the universe is perfect for us and for life to exist. Well, that's because we've evolved to the situation around it here. Life, as we're understanding it, is a lot more flexible. We had our very narrow definition of the habitable zone. That's where we were looking for planets, the right distance from their star, where it was not too hot that the water would evaporate on Earth, and not too cold for that water to become frozen ice, because we thought it has to be liquid water. You know, we need it. We need these temperatures. We need certain stability there. But yeah, the more we're looking, the more that habitable zone is pretty pointless with it there. I think there's probably going to be some extremes, but I think that middle zone is going to be quite wide for what life, and that is just the life that we understand now. If you want to get crazier, start to look at plasmoids and potential plasma life form, then that just throws all of the knowns out the window there. Oh, thank you there, App. And guys, if you want to read up about the experiment as well there, the Avatar experiment does sound amazing. It's very fascinating there. And life could very much find another way to grow. I do think so there. And Pluto, thank you for the heart. How are you doing tonight? And what do you make of the face on Mars? So Laura asks, when I first discovered the face on Mars, I think I'd seen one of those. There was a year, I don't know if it was 98 or 2002 or whatever it was, but there was two films with a very similar plot. And this happens every now and again in Hollywood. You get two very similar films come out at the same time. And these were two about Mars. And one of them, it had the face on Mars in it, and I was like, what the fuck is this, a face on Mars? So I looked it up in a library. This was pre-internet, so it must have been in the 90s, right? An actual library here, and the face on Mars. I'm like, I'd never seen it before. It was the most fascinating thing I'd ever seen. I was hooked. So I'm very much interested in it. NASA has come out since, and they've rescanned it. How much we trust NASA, and they've said, no, this is what it actually looks like. It was just a trick of the light. We just called it the right place, right time. But I don't know. A, I don't trust NASA. B, you look at all the other contextual stuff in that area where the face was found. I think there's some other things going on there. I'm a fan of the face on Mars there as well. And Lauren Asty found the shares. Thank you for that. Guys, the shares, the likes, the tapping away, it really does help us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves. And the more eyes and minds we can get on the phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. If you're new here, do say hello. Ask any questions you want. There are no silly questions. I'm a few messages behind, but I do like to read them all. So do ask away there. But yeah, say hello, give us a follow. We do something UFO alien related every night. If it's a cloudy night like tonight, we're doing the alien radio signal hunt. If it's a clear sky, we're based in Wiltshire, right in the heart of crop circle country and just down the road from Stonehenge. We do a UFO, UAP, skywatch, and that is what that looks like. We just have to have those clear nights for it there. And James there, scrolling ahead of me there. There is no scientific proof or verified evidence of any alien life from watching or visiting Earth there. So there hasn't been anything like measurable experiments that can be repeated, but that does not mean that there isn't evidence itself. Now the problem is that singular cases of evidence cannot then necessarily be verified. That is just the nature of evidence. But there is still a hell of a lot of evidence, and we also have got to remember that there is a massive bias within the scientific community. So like when we make a statement like that there is no scientific evidence, well, that implies, doesn't it, that it hasn't met the criteria. Science has done the looking and it hasn't found anything yet. But that isn't true. There has been definitely currently very, very little money spent on anything like this. So you can compare the billions that are spent each year on scientific research in whichever area there. I mean, billions alone in string theory research, which is not even verifiable. It's not a scientific theory, but they spend it on that. But they don't do it. Like when we talk about SETI and the search for extraterrestrial intelligence there through radio, that's now privately funded. It has been for years. They cut that government funding from that years ago. It's all private money that's going into doing it, and they are getting signals. But this is where the trick of it comes in, and I'm a bit contested, because science, for like, take the radio signals, like what we're doing now, it makes sense that science needs a second detection of that signal. So if right now our dish was pointed at Proxima Centauri and we get a signal spike on the screen and we go, oh my god, look, we're getting a signal in, this is exciting, then that isn't alone enough to say, is it? Because there's a whole other degree of variables. It could be electronic interference. Maybe a satellite flew past and for a weird freak of radio gave us a spike at the right frequency. There are variables there that we have to scientifically filter out. So therefore, what you're meant to do is, if you're getting that signal, you ring up your mate of another big radio telescope and go, can you point at Proxima Centauri for us as well? Other side of the Earth there. Two sources to the same, dishes to the same source there. If they're both seeing the same thing, you can be pretty confident it is actually coming from there and it's not something in between of one of the dishes. The issue that they have is that sometimes it takes them 20 years to look at the data. So, if you've had this signal back in the year 2000, and then we go, right, let's look at it in 2025, point another dish at that star and go, the star's quiet. Of course it's going to be quiet. It's very unlikely that the aliens are going to be sending this type of high-powered transmission all of the time. They're very, very resource-intensive there. So it's very, very unlikely that you're going to do it that way. So although I appreciate the need for the second detection, we can't say that there isn't any evidence, because science isn't doing its part in matching up and coming forward with the research and the data on these things. And now where we are starting to do it, people are starting to accrue the evidence privately, we are starting to see there's a hell of a lot of anomalies. Now, an anomaly isn't conclusive proof of alien life, but there's still a lot of questions to be answered there. A lot of questions there. Leon as well, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight there? And Watch the Abyss from 1989 with the aliens at the bottom of the sea. I saw that one again recently and it blew my mind, because I was thinking of a totally different film and I got all confused there. And Ben, thank you for feeding Alan. I allow you to share the live your story, but not repost it. It's very strange. It is weird, though, isn't it? Harley, do you think the astronauts would be able to get an image of aliens if they had the chance to see it there? Oh, I don't know. That's an interesting question. Would they be allowed to as well? There is an argument that how their technology may work would actually counter the images. Why are all the UFO photos blurry? Well, there's a strong answer that their propulsion might involve bending space and time, and that gravitational lensing effect, along with some other things, would actually blur the light for us, and that might be why we're getting there. How you doing, Pluto? Just seeing you coming in there. Hands up if you fell asleep before the launch. Lee Scott is in as well there, and Harko. Yeah, I saw on the news sort of glass-like sensors. Oh, I'm so far behind, I can't remember what they were now. What we're talking about there. Let's have a scroll down there. And a face on the moon. I've not seen the moon one, though. People talk about a face on the moon, but it's not something I've seen there. LJH there. Hi from Leicester. Excellent. How are your skies tonight? So for us, it's pretty damn cloudy. That's why we're doing the alien radio signal hunt. But if you've got clear skies at the minute there, And Melly Wolf there as well. Am I getting that right? I think it is there. How are you doing? Thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight? And what have I missed? Have we made contact? We did, Lee, and they asked about you, and they left because you wasn't here there. And good to have you in there, Mel. And up there, what is more worrying is the CGI images of the Orion spaceship are done by Arrow. Not at all reliable. What? Arrow? Why is Arrow doing CGI images? That's not even in their job description. That's weird, isn't it? There are some of these weird. You're not helping yourself, lads, are they? The optics aren't good here. There. And has everybody got their Easter chocolate? Oh, I've got my Lindt chocolate bunny. I haven't yet. But then I am a last minute for these things there. And I say, I found the repost button. Honestly, I blame TikTok. It's always playing up there. And as V says there, thank you guys for the likes and the shares. That is how we reach more and more people there. And the more like-minded, intelligent people we can get sharing their experiences there, looking at the phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. But we're here every night. If it's clear skies, say we do the UFO skywatch there. If it's cloudy night, we're doing this, the alien radio signal hunt there, where we're waiting for those signals, but we're having a chat about the phenomena and the latest in the news there, whilst we're waiting for those signals to come in there. Oh, Laura, don't worry, I'm the same. I tried being in Pete's chat last night because we wasn't on and was having the technical issues there. And oh my God, actually being a viewer typing, oh my God, I can't do it. There. And your arm under the bar confused me for a minute. That's what I'm here. I'll let you get comfortable and then I'll just mix it all up there. Exactly what you thought out there. Oh, North Devon there, just a jaunt up the road, not far at all there, but I'm a little bit jealous of the Devonshire countryside for you there, Mel. Lovely, lovely skies. Got some friends that live over that way, and yeah, they've got some cracking skies there. Like, I thought it was lovely and clear here, but that was just a touch clearer, and I'm very jealous of it there. Have you ever seen anything strange in those skies there? Where are we over on the chat there? Oh, Raf has confirmed then that he doesn't want his prize there. Never usually get them kind of things. Are you sure you don't want it, Raf? Are you sure you can have it? That was weird. I might have to go check on the bird there. I couldn't tell if that was a fire alarm tweet or a bird tweet. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Alan, you take over.
It's me, Alan, the real star of the show. Follow us now, or I'm sending the mothership.
Thank you, Alan. Hope you're well behaved. Fire alarms are playing up. I might have to go deal with that a bit more in a second if that's going to keep going off. Yeah, which it sounds like it's going to. That's a bit frustrating, isn't it? It's going to set the birds off. TikTok censored again. Yeah, they're always chasing us. Blink if you need help. I need help from Alan there. Starstruck. Yeah, well, the views go up when we have Alan on, and suspiciously down when I come on. Literally there. Very lucky. Our skies are beautiful. Very light pollution. They're very beautiful. And they're meant to be maintained ones, so I don't know how that works. I'm going to have to attack that one there. Wear green if you need help. I need to ask. The ship is moving. It is. He's on his spaceship up there. He doesn't like hanging out with me when I'm in this room. Alan can't smile. I don't think he's got the muscles. The mouth is vestigial. Alan should get speaking privileges. He's practicing his phrases, but he's not fully there yet. There. Yeah, I think that's what is going off. It sounds very suspicious, like Otis's tweets there, but they're meant to be wired in, which is strange. Alan is staring at yourselves. He knows exactly what you've done. And, yeah, he's known exactly what you've done. And, yeah, he's looked at your search history there. I think it's a fire alarm. Just the dying battery there. So the dog's off. He's definitely going to set the birds off. Otis is singing back to it at the minute there. He was swearing. Alan, Jesus, no wonder we get blacklisted on here. There. See, that's what mine are. I thought. I thought. But I don't know why they're bloody doing that. They're meant to be wired in. So, no idea. The face on Mars is a 1.5 kilometre wide eroded mesa in the Cydonia region there, captured by NASA's Viking 1 in 1976. So it is there. They do say it's a bit, it's just a rock there caught at the right angle. I don't know if I believe it. There. Alan is like Woody from Toy Story. He wakes up and put dud batteries in the smoke, probably. Why have they all gone off at once? Because that feels like it's the one up here. It's going to keep me up. I have to turn it off. Maybe? The heating... although I am quite warm in here. But the heating shouldn't be on. Hold on. Let's have a look at what my heating is going off everywhere. Come on. Thank you for the tip. Let's have a look. Right, what's it saying? Because I am actually pretty warm in here, but it's not... I mean, it's not that high. We'll have to go deal with that. It's going to be annoying otherwise, sadly. Yeah, it'd probably be... I mean, I didn't think there's batteries in them. I mean, other than like an internal built-in one in case your power dropped. Detecting a ghost there. No ghosts in the house. Oh, that is annoying. I'm getting the occasional red flash. The green light's on, but there's an occasional red flash with the thing. Well, there was. No, it's not. Sadly, I've got to pay for it. But I'm going to have to tackle that one in a minute. I'll get there'll be a manual somewhere. Might mean an early stream though, because that's gonna set the birds off and have to tackle that one. If it goes off again. There we go. Bloody thing, that's going to be annoying. It's going to be annoying there. Yeah, guys, sadly, I'm going to have to come off and tackle the fire alarm situation. Otherwise, you'll just hear me swearing. Because I don't think it's going to be a quick one, sadly. But we'll be back on tomorrow night, as long as the house don't burn down, with the old... it'll be the backup battery that's too low. Oh, that sounds expensive, Lee. But I think that can be the only thing, isn't it? And why are they both going perfectly at the same time? I'll try restarting it. There. Sounds like a carrier bag. Thank you. But, yeah, it's starting to annoy me now. I'm going to go tackle that. But, yeah, I'll catch up with you tomorrow, guys. Probably be playing Sea of Thieves with Pete. But maybe not. We'll see how it goes there. Well, I'll catch you all later, guys. Bye-bye.